Hey, today I've got big news about the Democracy Space Station. We'll talk about the before and after changes to the destroyer. Arrowhead has plans for their rocket Strider, and there's much more to talk about. If you can't support the channel, please tap the like button below at any point and subscribe with notifications on. Let's start off with some big news. If you didn't know, the orbital Galactic barrage was recently buffed yesterday, and Arrowhead did not include this in the patch notes. I'll give you an idea of how it used to perform. We can tell that the Galactic wasn't bad, but it does appear to be slower, right? How about we check out the after patch clip here, and we can tell instantly that the Galactic barrage is now insanely fast. If you would like to hear the differences in sound, I will preview that now, and you can catch me here in a few seconds. So honestly, I can't tell if they increase the damage at all, but it's obvious that it's a lot better now in terms of speed. You can take out enemies faster, and it's pretty good. If you didn't know about this, then let me know by tapping the like button below and commenting as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this and see what you guys think. We've got a status update on the Automatons, specifically the Rocket Striders. The Arrowhead team has plans to adjust the enemies in a future patch. There's a member on the official Helldivers 2 Discord who was a bit upset, like many players are, about the Rocket Striders' damage and the ragdolling. The community manager responded to the ping message and said, "Hey there, I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure that since Rocket Striders are including the larger undertaking that is tweaking how ragdolling works, we didn't have time to fix that for the latest patch. I could probably verify that if you give me some time, but that's a fairly decent guess. In any case, we're aware on this, and it will be addressed." It's going to be interesting to see what they plan on changing in terms of ragdolling. As the community manager mentioned, the developers were not able to get a ragdoll fix in the last patch, so maybe somewhere down the line we'll see another patch that will resolve those main issues. I don't have too much to say about the Rocket Striders. I don't feel they're that bad, but at the same time, I can understand why so many are not happy with how the Rocket Striders can launch you around. The one complaint I do have, however, is an issue with the rockets in general. I don't know how many of you have noticed this, but when a rocket hits you, it practically sucks you forward towards the enemy instead of being launched away. It's been going on for quite a while since launch, if I'm not mistaken. I'd like to see that issue fixed more than anything. I find it quite annoying to deal with, but hey, maybe that's just me. Since we're on the topic of updates, yesterday, as you all know, we received a brand new patch that buffed the shotgun, carbine, and I believe the machine gun as well. That being said, the developers made a few changes that I didn't even notice at first until I looked at the top right. I'm sure you've all seen this as well. They've implemented a new button at the very top that says Democracy Space Station. When you click the button, it brings you to a new screen that looks a little different. You currently cannot access the DSS at this time, as it says it's currently unavailable. I think this might just be proof that we're not going to be able to enter the Democracy Space Station after all, and instead we'll be able to interact with the DSS on the Galactic war map. Is it a big deal? Maybe not, but I think it would have been cool to enter the space station and explore a new area inside a spaceship. However, again, it looks like that's not going to be the case, and we'll be using the map to interact with the DSS. I'd like to know how you all feel about this in the comments below. Another change the developers made that I didn't notice was the Galactic war map table has changed. I have a previous video as to what it used to look like in the patch prior and afterwards. It's a bit wider and looks way better in my opinion. Now, just a few seconds ago I talked about the DSS. Well, we've got big news about it. I'm not going to show the leaked video of the Platoon news video that was found in the in-game files. If you don't know, Platoons are essentially a clan system, and it appears it's actually going to arrive with the Democracy Space Station, surprisingly enough. There's a leaker named Ironsights that was able to locate the ranks for the platoons, and it's crazy. If you would like to skip past the ranks that I'm about to show, then feel free to go down below in the description and choose a different timestamp. With that being said, we're now going to take a look at Ironsights' post that can be found over on X. We can see various ranks in the image. There's a total of 14 ranks as far as we know. There could be more, but I cannot confirm this. I do like that there's going to be a clan system arriving with the DSS. If you all would like to join the platoons once I create it, then let me know down below, and I'll be sure to update you all in the future video to let you know how to join it and what the platoon name is. It will be great for us all to be able to play together in the same lobby, and I'm absolutely excited about this. Lastly, the Galactic War map was updated. Akamar now has a description along with a fancy icon, and we might just receive another Eagle 1, or would that be Eagle 2 to be exact? If you check out the description, it says, Aviation Academy. On this planet, aspiring pilots are trained and certified for a career in the skies. Maybe this has something to do with the Democracy Space Station. Could there be a special stratagem that we'll all be able to use that will feature this new Eagle 2? At least that's what I'll be calling it. And if that is the case, that's going to be incredible. Who knows? You know, possibly there's no connection with the DSS, and it could be a future stratagem that we'll be able to unlock and use. I will say this piques my interest, and I'm looking forward to finding out what the Arrowhead developers have planned. Let's now talk about the recent emote changes that were made yesterday, which completely stopped us from emoting in the air. The developers have patched it, however, it appears a lot of Helldivers out there are not happy with it, as you can see in this post on Reddit where it received 11,000 upvotes. The good news is that there's a chance that they could revert it. They as in the developers. Considering they asked for feedback in the patch notes, just to show proof, they wrote this after the patch note. We are monitoring this change and appreciate your feedback for it. Well, that right there, it's cool to see the developers are willing to listen to what we all have to say about this. So what do you all think about this change? Is it something you would like to see reverted or not? Me, personally, I was quite surprised to see it in the patch notes, and I think I'd like to have it reverted back to how it used to be. I thought it was fun, you know, and funny to be able to emote while flying, and it was sort of useful. So far, we've talked about some cool changes after the recent patch. Well, there's another change that was made for the Warbond previews. They now feature different types of backgrounds that reflect the element or the theme of the Warbond. The first one on the list is Helldivers Mobilize, which has smoke in the background. Still Veterans has flames visible behind the Helldiver. Cutting Edge features lightning. Democratic Detonation is similar to the Helldivers Mobilize background. Polar Patriots, of course, has snow, which looks awesome. Chemical Agents now has toxic gas theme. Freedom's Flame is almost similar to the Stilled Veteran, except with more flames. And last but not least, Viper Commando is different with leaves that can be seen flying around. I like this a lot, and it'll be cool to find out what they've done with the next Warbond. Moving along, we've got a major order status update. If you haven't paid attention to what's been going on as of late, we've liberated Matar Bay and successfully defended Marfark. The next place we must all go to is Anaya Prime. I think it's possible we'll get this one done fairly quickly. It just depends on how many Helldivers we can get on the planet. I think whether you're a bot diver or a bug diver, the main goal should be to construct the Democracy Space Station, and you should head over to this planet so we can get it done sooner rather than later. Remember that anything can happen and the DSS could be delayed if we're not successful. On a completely different topic, Arrowhead as of late has been quite creative with the patch notes. We've seen John Diver become canon, and even Jane Diver was brought up recently in yesterday's patch. The community manager Baskineer talks a little bit about the patch and the canon. We can see right here on the official Helldivers 2 Discord where she wrote this. So the thing about patch notes is that it's one of the very few places that the dev team can have a little bit of fun. The development team suggests some of these silly ideas, others are generated by us. For example, our deputy game director said he wanted to see Jane Helldiver become a thing. I think the best way to think about it is that there's more than canon/non-canon. In general, what's in the game is the canonical carved in stone lore, but we're able through patch notes and social media and other fun assets introduce some soft canon lore, things that may never make it into the game, but we still endorse its existence. Personally, I've been digging the whole canon and creative notes recently. They've done an exceptional job, and it will be great to see more of their creative notes in the future. And on top of that, I cannot wait to see what they plan next for the future updates. Next, we have another post by Baskinator, and a member responded to her message on the official Helldivers 2 Discord. The member said that Joel should just speak here, and apparently the reason why he doesn't is that there have been a few strange incidents where I guess a few players have been quite weird with him. The community manager Baskinator responded to that member and wrote, "I would love if Joel could interact with players, but admittedly players have been weird to him because of his role in the game. When that kicked up after launch, I kind of dedicated myself to making sure his privacy is protected. He interacts with all of you through the Galactic War, and the only way that will change is if he wants it to. #ProtectJoel." I think I know what she might be talking about, or at least one of the weird moments. I saw a post on the Helldivers 2 Reddit page where his information was somehow doxed, and that in itself is quite weird. So I completely respect his privacy, and it's perfectly okay for him to remain anonymous and not interact with us. I think that's perfectly fine. Also, if you're wondering why certain things are not included in the patch notes, B Vitamin has responded to a member, I guess, that was also aware of this, you know, with the Gatling barrage being buffed. And this is what B Vitamin said in response. We can't really update the patch notes after they have gone out. Maybe Baskinator or Minchimus can help you, but sometimes things are unfortunately missed out of the notes. It's a thing that has many cooks and many people to touch base with. Patch notes are a lot harder than you might think. I enjoy testing out the patches, so I don't really mind it if they miss out on something. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world, right? But yeah, I like testing things out. If something's buff, I tell you guys. If something's still nerf, I tell you. I like going through it and explain all the stuff. So yeah, hope that helps. We are now going to cover your recommended loadouts, but before we do that, if you would like to be featured, post your response again if you already have in a previous video. If not, post one down below and I might select it. Also, let's switch it up a bit because I'd like to talk about a loadout that we haven't discussed. I've seen a lot of Eruptor and crossbow recommendations, and they're great, but we need something different to go over. Anyway, that aside, the first recommendation is by a player named Atomic Gunslinger 9277. The primary weapon equipped is the Purifier, which in my opinion is way better than the Scorcher. It inflicts an incredible amount of damage just about everything except for the larger automatons. The secondary is the Senator, which I personally like to use on the Hulks because you can destroy them by aiming dead center in the middle where their head is located. The grenades we're going to use are the impact grenades. That is great when used on the bots that are bunched together, as you can tell in this clip. The first stratagem is the HMG, aka heavy machine gun, that surprisingly can be used to take out Hulks. I didn't even know this until recently. We've got the Guard Dog for basic enemies and Devastators, the 380 Barrage for larger automaton bases, and lastly the 500 kg bomb that can be used on Hulks, yet I've noticed there are some issues with it, so I'd use it on the tanks and enemies that are piled together. Overall, very solid loadout, and that's a 10 out of 10 general brash stars. With everything being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below, and I might just select your comment, so let's go ahead and check out those top 3 comments. The first comment is by IBA Steve. Buff the effing slugger already. And I agree, I think that one definitely needs to be buff. I think some of you have disagreed in that comment, or at least it was in the held section comment where, you know, most of the comments that are, I guess, vulgar, they're usually sent there on YouTube, so then I have to approve them. But yeah, anyways, I agree. The second comment is by ODog78. The Plasma Punisher changes were god-awful, glad they reverted them. The PP was fine for me before, not sure if anyone liked the changes or felt like it needed anything. Absolutely, without a doubt, the Punisher Plasma is a lot better now. It's cleaner, it's crisper with, you know, shooting. You don't have that fall-off damage, which was like how it was before. Absolutely better now. And last but not least, we have HTWHTWY5BZ. Holy smokes, what a username that is. So the Freedom Alliance and Jane are canon now. Cool. Anyways, if you guys would like to be featured in the comments, remember, just post one down below and I might just select it. But with that said, thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, I've been repeating this every single time. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. It's easy, it's free, it doesn't charge you. And you know what? I know a lot of you are not subscribed just yet, so do it now. Hit that freaking red button and click it as soon as you can. And give this video a like and let me know what you think about the video and all that. Thank you guys again for watching and hope to see you in the next one.